You've been hurting other people with your smoke.
No.
When the smoke clears, where do you stand? Now that's something worth talking about on the next Rolonda.
Say to absent parents who aren't paying their child support, if you're not providing for your children, we'll garnish your wages, suspend your license, track you across state lines, and if necessary, make some of you work off what you owe. We can't ignore the $34 billion in child support absent parents ought to be paying to millions of parents who are taking care of their children.
And that was President Clinton in his recent State of the Union address saying that this nation is ready to crack down on absent parents. And we are too here. It's a national problem, one that knows no gender. In fact, 15% of absent parents are mothers. We're going to introduce you to Mike in just a second. He says his ex-wife is a deadbeat mom, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about him. Mike, hold on just one second. We wanted to finish with Bridget. There were some questions that were coming out of the audience. I know that you had one.
I wanted to know, did you ask your husband why he wouldn't pay child support?
On several different occasions, and came up with several different answers. He never stuck to just one answer.
But he never ended up in jail for this?
Oh, yes, he did.
He did?
He sure did.
And how much time did he spend?
He spent 3 months in jail while he was waiting to be sentenced and convicted on felony. He had skipped bond when we indicted him.
For not supporting his children?
Correct. He was indicted, I believe, 6 times on felony criminal non-support. And he jumped bond in Virginia.
And that didn't change anything?
No.
Not a thing?
No.
Mike, who we were meeting just a little earlier here, Mike says that his former wife is a deadbeat mom. They were divorced in 1989. Mike is raising their 2 children, 9 and 11 years old. He has been waiting for 3 years for his former wife to make child support payments. Mike, what kind of moves have you made, first of all, to try to get this lady to pay for her children?
Well, I first went through the child support unit, mass child support unit, and I had to fill out a booklet. And I gave them all the information, and about 2 years went by and I never heard anything, so I called them and they told me they lost my file. So
the same thing? What is this? I mean, they just disappear into the abyss of bureaucracy? I mean, what is that?
I think, well, in the state of Massachusetts, they told me they have over 200,000 cases. And that's
even
their
more of a
excuse.
reason not to lose a file, if you ask me.
And basically, I went through a lot of hell over this because my children are young. At the time when I had the custody of the children, they were 4 and 6.
Now let's go back. When you first got divorced,
Yes.
who had custody of the children?
My ex-wife had custody. I paid support to my ex-wife for 2 years while we were separated.
Okay.
I spent thousands and thousands trying to get custody of the children and went through the probate court and came out with just joint custody. 2 weeks after I got divorced, I got the judgment in the mail from the probate court, and my ex-wife called me up and said I could have custody of the children.
Okay, so now you have custody of the children now, and child support agreement was what? That she would pay
Yes.
child support. How much does she owe you?
She owes me over $11,000. Not counting medical bills.
Okay, and without that $11,000, what does that mean for your 2 children?
Well, it's a lot of heartache because it means that I have to pay my ex-wife's share and work a little bit harder to support my 2 children. And it takes away quality time when you have to put that many hours in to raise your children.
I find, I don't know about anybody else here, but I just find that so horrible that a mother, I mean, maybe that's a sexist thing to say, but just that a mother would just up and not support her children. How do you explain something like that?
I personally think the reason why, it all had to do with the divorce. I felt that my ex-wife was very greedy. The first thing that meant to her was the money. And I had a settlement coming in. I had a workman's comp settlement coming in, and the judge awarded her 20%, and that's when she decided to give me full legal custody of the children at that point.
Does she have visitation rights with the kids?
She has visitations. She hasn't seen her children in 5 years.
Wow.
And the sad thing about it is, my little daughter, I raised her for 4 years. I just remarried last year. I'm married to a wonderful woman, and my little daughter missed the woman. And I used to try to do activities with them, but you can't replace a mother. And it's very tough.
You can't replace your own mother.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you, do you guys have to explain to your children this whole phenomena, and particularly the fact that you, from what I hear your stories are, you're not getting a lot of support from the people who set the laws up to support you?
I'm right now at this point, I'm at war with the Mass Child Support Unit, because I felt that not only did they cause me heartache, the fact is they lost the file. We found out that she quit a job in Mass, moved out to Florida, worked out in Florida. If they didn't lose my file, they could have detached their wages in the state of Florida.
Oh, you're kidding.
So then I found out from a source, from somebody inside her family, that she was going to get pregnant so that she wouldn't be forced to pay the child support. So last year I found out she had a baby back in November of '93, and I'm still trying to get the child support unit of Mass to enforce the order, but unfortunately they refuse to go after her because of the baby.
Well,
it's bad publicity.
Well, let me tell you something. You can end up in jail if you refuse to pay your child support. And later, we're going to talk to a father live from jail about why he refused to support his own children. But first, when we return, a remarkable riches to rags story, you might say, about how one mother and her children went from living in a mansion to living in a car, all because of an absent parent. We'll be right back.